Well, welcome to the channel. I'm Reverend Dr. J.W. Morrison, theologist, Central Coast, New South Wales, Australia. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for your support. This is a channel of psychology through theology, where I try and help people just to see some psychological perspective through theological text. Proverbs 25:19, as we go through the Proverbs. Like a broken tooth or a foot out of joint is confidence in a faithless person in a time of trouble or need. Like a broken tooth or a foot out of joint is confidence in a faithless man or person or partner in a time of trouble. And I guess all of us, no one excluded, has had situations where they've been in a relationship and the partner has completely just become faithless. Now, this may not be deliberate. It could be the result of alcohol. It could be the result of drugs. It could be the result of medications. It could be the result of characteristic traits, personality disorders. Whatever's happened, I've had a broken tooth. I got hit by a brick. We were throwing bricks up and it hit the truss and come back, knocked me tooth out. And I've also had a shattered ankle, a shattered ankle bone. I got screws and everything in it. Horrible pain, still haunts me to today. These are terrible forms of pain. A broken tooth and a foot out of joint. I'll never forget it. I had a kiteboarding accident and I thought that my ankle was dislocated, but it was shattered. The pain, and it still pains 5 years later. So these are serious elements of pain, and it really, really hurts. And this kind of horrible pain and hurt can be likened to the faithlessness of a person in a relationship. And I know what that's like. I've had 2 marriages. The first marriage, probably I was a little bit more responsible for the breakdown. The second marriage, I don't even know what happened to this day, in the sense of how something, what appeared to be so good, deteriorated and ended in all sorts of theft and immorality and all, just a classic case of covert narcissism going overt. I've had, you go through all this sort of stuff in high school, but not when you come out into the big world and you're trying to be a good man, a good husband, a great partner. And the funny part about this is, it was when faithlessness comes into a relationship that the trouble comes and the accidents come. You can start to have mind problems. You can start to have mental problems. Your hand-to-eye coordination and skills in sport and stuff are interfered with. You're not as accurate. You're not as spot on. And this is what caused the accident. Because when you're trying to deal with situations that should not be there, that should be better than what they are, this causes trauma. And the trauma then affects the way in which you operate in life. It affects the whole diverse dimensions of your life, right down to headaches in the back of your mind, eyesight problems. Your eyes you're not hearing right, you're not seeing right, you're not feeling right, your body can start to play up on you because the stress of being in a relationship with a faithless person, instead of having confidence, you go into disbelief, you go into anxiety, you go into depression, you go into psychological trauma, because that's what faithless does. Faithlessness is demonic, because faith is godly. So faithlessness is demonic, and the demonic want to break things. Jesus came to heal the brokenhearted. The demonic come to cause the brokenhearted. Jesus came to heal the body. The demonic come to break the body. Remember, Jesus healed epileptics, the deaf, the blind, the lepers. He came to heal the body. Jesus came to resolve trouble. Whereas the darkness, the demons, the demonized, the faithless person will cause trouble and not bring resolve to the trouble. Jesus came to put things back into alignment, back into their right place, while darkness came to break teeth and hurt and harm people. This is where we've got to have our eyes open. When blind Bartimaeus was sitting on the side of the road as Jesus was travelling to one of the cities there, he could hear all the ruckus. He couldn't see, he was blind. He could hear all the ruckus and all the noise and all the excitement. And when he heard that it was Jesus of Nazareth coming down the road, he must have heard about what the Lord was doing to help people and heal people. He screamed out, "Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me." And the disciples came over and tried to stop him from getting the Lord's attention, and the Lord chastised them and said, "Bring that man to me." And the Lord said, "What is it that you want?" And he said, "That I can see." And the Lord healed him, and away he went. He could see. Sometimes we can see so clearly. We think we can see so clearly, but we can't see it all. We can't see the things that we need to be aware of. We're blind. We can see, but we're blind. But Jesus makes the blind to see. So when we realize that there's things that we need help with, there's things that we can begin to see that are going to help us, that's when our lives begin to change. That's when we heal the broken tooth. That's when we can put the foot out of joint in our heart and mind back in place, our emotions back in place. We can win our confidence back and put it in the right direction. Hebrews 11:1 says, "Faith is the confidence of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen." It's confidence in knowing that what we can't see now, that we need, right? It's giving us the confidence to have the hope that what we need is going to happen. It may not happen straight away, but we've got the hope. We haven't got depression. We're pushing on the side of hope, not depression. We're pushing on the side that it will happen, not anxiety. It will happen. Now, we're not just living in positive thinking. We're relying on the fact that God has made a promise that if we are confident, eventually, if not straight away, it will happen. And we put our confidence in people that are faithful, not faithless. Because when we hang around people that are faithless, not only are they hopeless in a time of trouble, and ultimately, mentally, and if not physically, they can bring us trouble. So we have to be very selective about who we're going to have around us. And if we've just got people that are faithless around us, no. Because you'll end up with emotional and physical elements about yourself that are no different to a broken tooth and no different to a foot out of joint. Your emotions will be like a foot out of joint. Your thinking and your feelings will be like a foot out of joint. And in these desperate times, we can put our confidence in things that lead us to the wrong group of people. We can be in with the wrong group of people. When you're in with the wrong group of people, then what? You take the wrong counsel. And faithless people in a time of trouble can cause more trouble. That's just how it is. If we look at the scripture here, look now, you are trusting in Egypt. Egypt's a type of sin in this context. That splintered reed of a staff that will pierce the hand of anyone who leans on it. See, when you are leaning on trouble, the wrong people, you will get splintered. Your whole psyche will be splintered because you'll be disappointed. That's what faithless people do to us. They disappoint us, and they can make situations worse for us. But we don't always spot this. We don't always see this because we're walking around, our feelings are like a broken tooth, our discernment's like a foot out of joint. We just want to have confidence in somebody that can give us some kind of identity. And so we want to look to people that are walking in the fruit of the Spirit. Galatians chapter 5, verses 22 through 23. Bear with me for a minute, viewers. Verses 22 through 23, which is down here. But the fruit of the Spirit, these are the people that we want to mix with. The fruit of the Spirit is love, and that starts with self-love and then flows from there, and God's love and flows from there. Joy, peace, long-suffering, or patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness. Sometimes, really when you look at it, we need to be kind to ourselves. Some of you people are abusing yourselves. You're not at peace with yourself. You don't feel good about yourself. Faithfulness and gentleness and self-control. Some of you people just have no self-control over yourselves. Alcohol, medications, drugs, and all this other stuff. No. The fruit of the Spirit, these are the people that we want to hang around. Have love, joy, peace. They've done the work to have these things. Patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. As opposed to the people that are in this verse of Proverbs and verse chapter 25, which reads, like a broken tooth or a foot out of joint is confidence in a faithless person in a time of trouble. Sometimes you have to bring your confidence back to yourself, work out who is for you and who is against you. Get your mind right, get your life back on the healing path, work out who is for you and who is against you, and rebuild your life from there. Work out the people that can help you in your time of trouble. Move away from the faithless and work out your life from there. I'm Reverend Dr. J.W. Morrison, theologist, Central Coast, New South Wales, Australia. Thank you for joining me, and bye for now.